And now, ladies and gentlemen, Cedric Kushner Promotions proudly presents the main event of the afternoon, brought to you by Corona Extra. Your matchmaker is Bill Benton. Scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division, your referee is Jerry McKenzie. Let us first introduce to you, coming out of the blue corner, wearing black stars and stripes, weighing in at 233.5 pounds, a professional boxing record of 14 wins, 2 defeats, including 12 by knockout, from Olathe, Kansas, Derrick Roddy. His opponent, coming out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, weighing in at 237 pounds. His professional boxing record is 32 wins, 5 defeats, 32 by knockout, from London, England, Alex Stewart. 10 rounds heavyweight.
Two fighters have been introduced as Jerry McKenzie gives them their final word of instructions. Look at the tail of the tape. Stewart just turned 30 this past Wednesday. You can see the height advantage by Roddy with that reach advantage also of 80 to 76. And there you see rather heavy for both fighters. 233 for Roddy and 237 for Stewart. 3 knockdown rule in effect. No standing 8. 10-point must with 3 judges. Referee can stop the fight only, and you cannot be saved by the bell. Some of the rules that will be covering this fight. A non-title fight from Texas on our heavyweight explosion. And we're underway in round 1 of the scheduled 10-rounder.
Let's see if Derrick Roddy can get started right. That's what they want to do, get started early and go with the flow of this. Alex, the destroyer Stewart, even though with a heavy knockout concentration, sometimes starts a little slowly. And, you know, with this added poundage, we'll have to see what Roddy can do for him early.
You know, it's interesting, Alex Stewart, we kind of documented some of the people he's lost to. He said his most disappointing loss was that to George Foreman. He thought at best he came out of there with a draw. But he got a loss in the decision to George Foreman. He said, out of all of them, he said, that was probably my most disappointing loss of all.
Well, you know, he had George welled up and swelled up, and his head looked very, very bad after that bout. And Alex, you know, really didn't have a mark on him. It was a hard fight, and Foreman hurt him early, but he got into his flow after about 3 rounds, and a lot of people did think that he could have won that fight, and his camp certainly was among that number.
Well, I tell you what, he's in with a tough customer today. Derrick Roddy was brought up on the streets of the tough side of St. Louis, Mo, raised by his grandmother, who taught him 2 things, self-worth and also the esteem to be the man that you want to be. And exactly, he carries that in the ring. Great confidence at the weigh-in, and he fights a man that has been there at the pinnacle and would very much like to be there himself. Derrick Roddy, the opponent of Alex Stewart today.
You can see Roddy's got the benefit of hand speed here early in this fight. Alex Stewart never, you know, didn't get where he is today through hand speed. He's just a powerful guy that just imposes his wills on his opponents. But Roddy looks good here early on with the benefit of quickness. He doesn't want it. He's moving around the ring a little bit. He's not letting Alex set, but he wants to move, set himself, get some punches off, and then get out of there. As Stewart welcomes him to the pro ranks here in Texas with that first big 1-2 combination.
You can see a little pudginess on the body of Alex Stewart with that 237 pounds, but you also see the quickness of the hands that this man possesses. He can throw them in a lightning bolt. Another interesting point on Derrick Roddy, a natural right-hander, but we've already seen him switch a little bit and throw a couple of punches from the southpaw side, just strictly as a diversion, I'm sure, to Alex Stewart today.
Alex trying to slow him down, walking to him with a straight left jab to the body, trying to back Derrick Roddy up a little bit.
Roddy, who was renowned to be a very quick starter, did not jump start here early in this fight. Stewart was maybe expecting a little bit more of a house of fire start, but he didn't get it. And has pretty much held his own confidence and composure here through round number 1.
I think Roddy wanted to just get kind of baptized here, get through this first round, and you know, feel Stewart out a little bit. This is a lot of pressure for him, his first big 10-round main event.
So the main event of our Corona Extra heavyweight explosion here from South Padre Island in Texas has come and gone. Derrick Roddy, again, expected to have a very quick start, did not. And Alex Stewart was able to do what he needed to do. Interesting enough, Derrick Roddy does not set between rounds, or at least he doesn't early on, as he is standing in his corner right now.
That's probably ill-advised for a heavyweight. It's a lot of weight you could be taken off and resting. You got to get the benefit of every second of rest that you're given. Obviously, some guys do it like a macho thing, but I don't agree with that myself. I think they should be resting and no embarrassment about it.
Talk about a pretty good corner man. How about the man that you see the back of his head, George Benton? He's been in with some of the great ones, and he's working there. Ronnie Shields is the man that works inside the ring as they're ready for the second round. This is the heavyweight explosion from South Padre Island in Texas on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network in round number 2 of a scheduled 10-rounder main event today. Derrick Roddy wearing the colors of the USA on this July 4th holiday weekend, and Alex Stewart out of London, England, his opponent on our main event. First round, Bob, how'd you score the first round for us?
I gave the round to Roddy. It was a close round, but he did get off more punches, and Alex really only pulled the trigger a couple of times, and I can tell he's starting this round much stronger. You know, he's walking right through Roddy with a strong left jab, double jab, and then the right hand will be coming behind that shortly, and it's a load.
Stewart again able to get some punches off and just kind of watch and try to counter off of Roddy. Roddy, by the way, got both of his losses back-to-back, December of '92 and March of '93. Knocked out in the first round by Dan Ducati, which is not having to say much more. Just mention that name. He's got a great punch. And then losing in 6 rounds to Ross Purity, who also has been renowned in the heavyweight division from time to time. So a couple of good losses for him, even though he didn't want to take them back-to-back, which he did, end of '92 and the first of '93.
Nice right hand by Derrick. Roddy there backs up Alex Stewart a little bit, and he gets out of the way when Alex comes to him. But, you know, this is the thing that they turned this around. You know, they had 2 setbacks, and you know, talk about George Benton and Ronnie Shields in the one corner. You've got Brian Donahue and George Smith in the corner with Derrick Roddy. They really turned their real team concept with Roddy, and you can see him with him in all his fights in the Midwest that he's had. And they turned it right around. They had a couple of losses, and they didn't give up on themselves or the kid, and here they are fighting a main event against a guy that he's showing very well with right now.
By the way, if Roddy should get to Alex Stewart, it would be coming here in this first 3 rounds or so, because of the knockouts, he's got 12 of his 14 wins. He's handled a total of 10 of those inside the first 3 rounds. So if he's going to do some damage in a knockout, it's going to be early on against Alex Stewart. Yeah, you really don't know what'll happen after you get by about the 3rd or 4th round with these big punchers in the heavyweight. One punch and it's over. But it also could go, and an accumulation of punches could finally end it in the heavyweights as well.
The big difference in this fight is going to be, you know, can Derrick Roddy gain some confidence here in the early rounds of this fight, which I think he is, as every minute goes, that he doesn't get tagged by some heavy thunder by Stewart. He's going to get braver and braver. He's going to have to reach a point to be satisfied with, you know, boxing with Stewart, because he's not the kind of thumper that's going to just overpower Alex Stewart. He's just been in with too high a quality of opposition for that.
Closing seconds of the second round. Again, Roddy with a solid first round, at least getting the numbers from our ringside card. Stewart again very confident, fighting on and doing what he feels he has to do, just kind of maintaining a pace here in the second round of our 10-rounder. One thing about it, you can always kind of judge a fight a little bit from the reaction of the crowd a little bit. And each of the fighters go down. Certainly the ring card girls probably have a great deal to do with that as well. But both of the fighters right at the end, and when they try to get exchanges, the crowd is reacting very favorably to these 2 heavyweights. And as they both show respect for each other, both also are kind of loading up as well. Our Corona Extra ring card girls drawing some nice applause from the crowd here in South Padre.
Great fight fans down here in South Texas, and you know, none of these guys are local, so they're out here supporting these fighters in a big way. And I would imagine when they develop some good local talent down here, they're really going to be packing them in.
Roddy again continues to stand between rounds. That's George Smith again right in front of me, and Brian Donahue outside the ropes in the white and red shirt. And off his stool comes Alex Stewart as we're ready to rumble here again in round number 3. Scheduled for 10 on our main event of the heavyweight explosion. Derrick Roddy out of Olathe, Kansas, originally out of St. Louis, Missouri, with his back to you right now, and a very well-known heavyweight by the name of Alex Stewart. At one time, he was rated as high as number 5 by the WBC, number 7 by the WBA, and number 9 by the IBF. Had the old opportunity after opportunity to fight for the heavyweight title, but has yet to accomplish that task.
Roddy still got the benefit of the quickness. His left jab's working good on Alex Stewart, but Alex is getting warmed up here, and we'll have to see if Derrick can carry this on through the middle and late rounds. But he is doing very well here early on.
You know, interesting note, certainly on Stewart. Again, in his 25th fight, he did lose to Holyfield, and of course had been literally a holy terror to all of the other people because he won his first 24 fights in a row by knockout. Tied Mac Foster's record for the starting of a career all by knockout. So he was really well known and people giving him a lot of acclaim out of London, England. But then he ran into Holyfield. That was in November of '89. He was knocked out in the 8th. As back comes Roddy, and Stewart trying to counter here.
Roddy looking real good, having real success with combinations, landed a nice uppercut on Alex Stewart. But I'll tell you something, of those 24, and there's a big right hand by Alex Stewart, and that did got Derrick Roddy's attention. But of those first 24 fights, he probably learned more in 25, which he gave Evander Holyfield an excellent performance. And really, he was life and death with the champion, I mean, the future champion in that bout.
By the way, 3 fights later, was knocked out in the first round by Mike Tyson. And then 2 fights later was knocked out by Michael Moore. George Foster finally came up with a 10-round decision win. And the last fight again to Evander Holyfield in June of last year. His last fight for Alex Stewart. He went 12 solid rounds with Holyfield. And Stewart has certainly rebounded from a adversity here in this 3rd round after almost being knocked to the canvas by Roddy.
Yeah, he's starting to reach Derrick with a good straight right hand. But Roddy is right there standing in the line of fire there. It doesn't seem like his confidence has been hurt by that much, but he's starting to get into the flow of this fight as Alex the Destroyer Stewart.
Closing seconds. The mark of a good fighter, heavyweight, no matter what the weight might be, is being able to be resilient as much as you can and being able to stay patient with yourself. You may have a man boarding down on top of you, but you can't do too much too quickly. Just try to do what you can to maintain your composure and hope that he doesn't get more advantage of you. That's exactly what Alex Stewart, of course, at 30 years of age, has learned from experience and is doing as he nears the end of round 3 with Roddy.
Having work. He's looking for it. Come on.
Did Stewart come back enough at the end of the 3rd round, and the fact that Roddy had pretty good control early on in round 3, did he come back to have a chance of winning that round?
I had Roddy well ahead in the early part of the round. Then Alex came back and hurt him with a couple of good straight right hands. But Roddy came back at the end of the round, I thought, and did enough to win it, which at this point in the fight, I got it 2 rounds to 1.
Let's take a look at those big punches that Roddy was throwing. This is over in the corner now. And again, hit that, and there came the uppercut. Boy, that was a nice punch as he set that up with the bodies and the hooks to the body.
Yeah, he got low, and there's the right hand by Alex that nearly dropped Derrick Roddy, but he recovered well here and finished up well at the end of the round.
So an uppercut again, right on the chin of Alex Stewart, almost sent him down in his own corner. The Team Destroyer was able to man the battle stations, and now he gets ready for the 4th round against Derrick Roddy. They're scheduled to fight 10. Up to the first 3, we really haven't seen an out-and-out leader of this fight. Roddy, however, has taken a little control of Stewart, but Stewart has relentlessly tried to gain it back. And as we fight in the 4th round, Roddy on the left and Alex Stewart back in the ring after a 1-year absence is trying to regain himself. 237 pounds, a little overweight, maybe a little bit out of shape, but again, the heart, the knowledge, the skill, the talent is still very much there from Alex Stewart.
And you can see Stewart starting to try to shorten up the distance here and really cut off the ring on Derrick Roddy. Pressure him because, you know, Roddy really, although he's got a good record at 16 professional fights, he's never been out in that deep water before. He's going into the 7th round one time, and I think into the 6th round twice, but mostly he's getting guys out of there early, and this is untested water for him.
Roddy has survived 3 of the better rounds that Stewart had used in the past to put people away. First round knockouts, 9. Second round knockouts, 7. Third round knockouts, 7 more of his 32. So the first 3 rounds have been devastating rounds for opponents against Alex Stewart. But Roddy has made his way into the 4th, and right now is fighting very well.
And even though Alex Stewart has knocked out a lot of guys early, those were, you know, lesser opponents than himself and Derrick Roddy earlier in his career. But his strength is always that he comes on stronger and stronger as the fight progresses. And that's his strength, and Roddy is really going to be tested in dealing with that here today.
You know, he really may not have come out with the same psychology he did in a lot of other fights. In the fact, he expected Roddy, Bob, to come out and be the aggressor in round 1, and we really didn't see that much in round 1. Roddy was not more overly aggressive than some of the other fighters we've seen coming out and testing around.
Right. Well, I don't think Derrick Roddy's people or Derrick himself had a plan on coming out here and trying to blow Alex Stewart out of there like Mike Tyson did, because, you know, there's not too many guys with that kind of punching power, free or in the penitentiary.
Period.
So, you know, they're just trying to do what they do, which I think, and there it is again, he lands a nice solid left jab, but Stewart's beginning to impose his will here on Roddy here and shorten up the distance, and when they start exchanging punches, Alex Stewart really is the heavier-handed fighter.
By the way, you made mention of Tyson. Certainly 2 of the fighters that Roddy has looked up to and really said he really idolized was Ali, and certainly the former heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield. Liked him because both threw a lot of punches, and he loved their hand speed. If I could emulate in any way those 2 fighters, my life, my boxing career would be something I'd look back on very fondly.
Roddy's doing a good job here neutralizing Alex Stewart's power. He's feigning a lot. That's what his corner's telling him to do.
Closing seconds of round 4. Neither fighter really getting that much of advantage of the other as of yet. South Padre Island in Texas. You see that 800 number, it might be advisable for you to write that down if you happen to be heading anywhere close to the Gulf Coast of Texas, or for that matter for those that might be watching across the Big Pines to coming through the United States. South Padre Island, certainly a beautiful place to visit for the heavyweight explosion. There's Roddy again, still standing. That's George Smith.
Take over, all right? But you can't do that throwing 1. You can't do that throwing 1. You can't do that standing right in front.
Trying to hit you with a right cross real close. Give him a lot of distance, He's trying to hit you a right hand, right cross. So keep your distance.
Other side, you hear Roddy's corner defensively talking. George Benton, meanwhile, trying to maybe turn up the offense of this man, Alex Stewart. Nonetheless, still calm in both corners as they fought through 4 rounds so far. And we've got 6 to go in this fight so far this afternoon in South Padre. Round number 5 just underway with Roddy on the left and Stewart on the right. Stewart back in the ring after a 1-year absence after a 12-round loss to Evander Holyfield. Huffing up a little bit, not getting in as good a shape as he's been in the past. And in with a pretty tough customer in Derrick Roddy that has grasped this opportunity, full well knowing what Stewart's pedigree and certainly credentials have been, of vaulting himself right into the heavyweight picture here with a good outing against Stewart, if not a win.
Well, he seems really, you know, to be gaining confidence as this fight goes on. Stewart's trying to press him and shorten up the distance, but Roddy's following his game plan. They're telling him in his corner, George is telling him feign a lot and keep this guy out of position, which is what he's got to do. Use his natural quickness, the benefit and quickness that he has over Alex Stewart, and you know, not sit there like he is right now and be there in the line of fire for that right hand, which is what Alex Stewart's looking to do to him.
You can see the warning by Jerry McKenzie, the referee, as Derrick Roddy literally lunged at the charging Alex Stewart, and a clash of heads could have come. One of the undercard fights on this afternoon, ending with a headbutt. There you can see the good effort and the good style of Alex Stewart. Roddy's in trouble in the corner. He's got to get out of there as Stewart goes to work on him. Stewart rallying very nicely, it seems. And here he comes with a minute and a half to go in the round.
If Roddy weathers this barrage here and comes back against Alex Stewart, he's really going to be a force to be reckoned with today. He's just tasted Stewart's power, and he pushed Alex Stewart off with disdain and said, come on, let's go. I'm ready, too.
Wow. Big shots thrown in that corner by Stewart. It looked like Roddy almost was stumbling He was just trying to work himself down the ropes and turn it out of there. Wasn't able to regroup enough to throw that many punches on the way out.
Nice coming of age for Derrick Roddy here. This is a huge step up for him in competition, and he really looks good early in this fight.
Keep in mind, Roddy is 26, Stewart is 30. When you talk about heavyweights, you'd love to get them early on, but maturity certainly comes on at the 28 to about 32. Certainly is at the could be the height of your career, and he's just starting to reach that stage. There you see the good left hook thrown by Stewart.
Derrick Roddy has really improved as a fighter here, Sam. I saw him get knocked out by Dan Kuda, and he got overwhelmed. He kind of froze up a little bit, and you know, he's learned his craft. You see him spinning Stewart, getting him back. Even though he was hurt in this round, he's finishing it strongly, and he's letting Stewart know, hey, I tested your power, and here I am.
Well, after this round is over, we'll be halfway through the 10-rounder on our main event on the heavyweight explosion as he goes down. At the end of the 5th round, a left hook by Stewart will hang on as a fighter in the bell cannot be stopped before he's up and ready to go. Jerry McKenzie will finish the count at the time that he's okaying, and he'll continue. The bell will sound, and that ends the 5th round of this, the main event. Well, interesting turn of events. Let's check in that corner quickly here.
He stood in front, and he got the hands too long. That's what happened. Okay? You can't do that anymore. Nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. Okay.
Probably a very scary moment indeed for this man, Derrick Roddy, who had hoped to stay in there and toe-to-toe, but right at the end of the 5th round.
Last 15 seconds, there's a left hook and a right hand up on the top, and then another left hook. Nice 4-punch combination with Alex Stewart landed 3 heavy blows there at the end of the round and dropped Roddy.
Boy, that right just right around the ear, or maybe even behind the ear, may have been the biggest punch of all of that. As again, as they finish the round, Roddy goes to the corner and ready for the 6th. Alex Stewart, who has just picked up a knockdown of Derrick Roddy in the 5th round, comes out prepared. Interesting enough, Derrick Roddy did not go to the corner and set again even after the knockdown. So they're staying with, keeping him standing throughout this entire fight so far.
What he can't do is sit with his back to the ropes. He needs to box in the middle of the ring. He can't, you know, because Stewart certainly will finish him if he tries to lay on the ropes and rest.
By the way, if you are starting to score the fight with us, certainly a 10-8 round in round number 5. And with that, on our unofficial card, the last 2 rounds rather solidly for Alex Stewart on the unofficial cards.
Now, Stewart pulls ahead after having a tough early go of it with Derrick Roddy here. But let's see, you know, what Roddy can do to recover here. Alex, I think, came out figuring that Roddy would fold here with a little bit more pressure here in the 6th round. But so far, Roddy seems, but I sure hate him sitting on that rope like that, Sam. And I know the people in his corner don't want him there any more than I would.
Good left hook by Roddy down to the body. Roddy has never been 10 rounds of this thing, should go the distance, and he's in trouble again, kind of lean between the ropes. Let's see if Jerry McKenzie rules that as a knockdown. He does. So he rules it as a 2nd knockdown as he was going down between the ropes. And a 2nd knockdown will at least make it a round in favor of Stewart. Roddy's got to come back and try to steal it back here with a minute and a half to go.
Well, he can't sit in here and exchange heavy punches with Alex Stewart. That's not his game plan. That's not how he planned on winning this fight, and he'd be hard-pressed to win this fight like that. He's laying in there trying to exchange punches, and there a big left hook tags him again, and this is about it.
2nd knockdown again of this round. There is a 3 knockdown rule. If he should go down for a 3rd time in the round, it's automatically over. He's getting up rather slowly at the count of 9, taking all that time on the canvas. Jerry McKenzie's letting it continue. 1 more knockdown, and it's over in this round. Stewart, the destroyer, coming in. Can he finish it in the 6th round? Is Alex Stewart back? The last 3. Roddy answers with a right hand. Stewart comes back and charges him in the corner. He has him down. It's over. 3 knockdowns. knockdown rule, and the 6th round of this fight is over in round number 6 here at South Padre Island in Texas on the heavyweight explosion. And yes, emphatically to the questions, is Team Destroyer back? You better believe it. Alex Stewart coming back with vengeance after a very slow and maybe even by his own characteristics, a sloppy first 3 rounds. He came back, dominated the 4th, got the first of 4 knockdowns in the 5th round, and then he comes up with 3 back-to-back knockdowns here in the 6th, and the fight is officially over by the TKO rule. Fight being stopped by Jerry McKenzie. What was the time of the stoppage of the fight? Well, it came in the 6th round, and Shelley Band will officially give us that time here as they ready it up. Let's go to Shelley, get the time right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the 6th round. Stopped by the 3 knockdown rule. The winner out of the red corner from London, England, Alex Stewart.